Purpose and purpose anxiety. Without purpose, we have no telos, no direction. We don't know where we're traveling. We don't know where we're going. And it's very difficult to find meaning in life. Sometimes when I don't have a clear sense of direction, a vision for my life, a vision for my family, for my working life, and a sense of spiritual connection, I feel like I'm hemorrhaging chi, prana, life force, oomph, call it what you will. If I don't feel connected to meaning, I start to feel discontented and distracted, and I start to crave external stimulants as a sort of palliative for the feelings that I'm getting. More and more in this peculiar time of pandemic, of division and fragmentation, ecological anxiety, mental health epidemic, I think more and more people are struggling where to derive purpose from. For the last century, I think those of us that grew up in Western type cultures grew up thinking that life is about self-realization and self-actualization, but usually through the rubric of capitalism, commercialism, and the kind of cultures we all live in. Of course we would. I suppose if we lived in a hunter-gatherer society, we'd be thinking about how good we were at hunting or gathering. But more likely, we would be thinking about what our role was within the community. Living as part of a collective, living as part of a team, living with a shared group purpose provides not only individual meaning, but collective meaning. At a time when our myths are breaking down, when patriotism and nationalism feel either about who is not included rather than who is included, at a time when people feel a little alienated from their countries, a little alienated from power and the ability to make decisions, autonomy in their own lives, I feel that we have to have a discussion about the re-engagement of spirit in order to discover purpose. Purpose anxiety is a term that's used to describe what you feel when you lack a sense of purpose and are aware of its absence. In my Audible original revelation, link in the description, I wrote and indeed said, uselessness is the emotional accompaniment to nihilism, purposelessness. If you have no recourse to peace and serenity and you feel your life has no meaning, you will construct meaning through whatever stimulus is present. Obviously, survival gives you meaning if you need to eat food or make money or acquire heroin or some other drug you're addicted to. That gives you a sort of a de facto sense of meaning and purpose. A broader meaning, I would say, is feeling that you are contributing to a community or a bigger idea than yourself. The problem with individualism, the idea that your life is about you and what you want because you're worth it and you deserve it, is some lingering awareness within you knows that you're going to die, and actually your life isn't super important if it's not in any way connected to a greater project, a greater goal. This is, I think, where we find ourselves now. I think many of the arguments that seem to be specifically political or ecological are related, in fact, to this deep spiritual psychological yearning that has come from the lack of social cohesion that the absence of shared purpose has helped to create. A 2014 study found that having a sense of purpose in life led to better physical health and a longer life expectancy. Yeah, that's pretty good, because if you feel like there's something to live for, you're going to feel better. Viktor Frankl, who's essentially written perhaps the defining modern era text on meaning, man's search for meaning, says he describes his experiences in concentration camps in World War II. He observed that those most likely to survive were those that had a purpose or goal. Frankl discovered the desire to find meaning in life is essential to the human experience. Frankl credited Nietzsche when writing, "He who has a why to live for can bear with almost any how." Right? If you have a purpose, you can deal with circumstances. That makes sense, doesn't it? On a pretty practical and everyday level. If you don't feel that your life has any purpose, when you're confronted with the necessary vicissitudes of modern life, or God, ancient life, any life, suffering, loss of friendships, the occasional humiliations that can take place in social situations, or feeling inadequate, not liking yourself or your body, if there's not some greater goal, what is there? Well, literally, what is there to strive for? Now, some people think that mankind, humankind, create meaning simply to resolve this problem. I feel that purpose itself is in alignment with evident and objective evolutionary realities, i.e., what is the purpose of evolution? Why did single cellular life forms feel compelled, as it were, to adapt, to evolve? And I recognize that appetite in relationship with environment is what creates successful mutation and therefore evolution. But nonetheless, the process is moving, is reacting to time, is reacting to space, is reacting to reality. Psychologist Jonathan Haidt says in his book, The Happiness Hypothesis, just as plants need sun, water and good soil to thrive, people need love, work and connection to something larger. It's worth striving to get the right relationships between yourself and others, between yourself and your work, and between yourself and something larger than yourself. If you get these relationships right, a sense of purpose and meaning will emerge. When I think of my own life, my initial set purpose was all derived from my culture. I want to be successful. I want to be famous. I want to mean something. I want to be important to other people. What I forgot was I need to be important to myself. And what I would never understood was, because how could I, was that the values I was using as a metric were inorganic, constructed meanings. My value can't be given to me externally. My value and my meaning have to be derived from an internal impetus. Deepak Chopra uses the law of Dharma. Dharma, I suppose, means like the way. In his book, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. Dharma is an important term in Indian religions, he says. In Hinduism, it means duty, virtue, morality. It's generally understood as one's true purpose, true calling in life. He explains that everyone has a purpose, unique gift or special talent to give others. And when we blend this talent with service, we experience the ecstasy and exaltation of our own spirit, which is the ultimate goal. That's good. So we need to find where what we have to offer meets what the world needs. In this place we find purpose and meaning. I heard a tape once of Muhammad Ali talking to his daughters when they were like 2 or 3 years old, saying, okay, what's your purpose? What is your purpose? What is your meaning? I thought, wow, he's even instilling them at this age with meaning, purpose, service. My little cat's got kittens at the moment. I'm having to tell my kids, they're going, I want to touch it. I want to touch the kittens. I want to move them around. I'm supposed to, what you want is not the most important thing. What is best for these animals? It's very interesting to find myself introducing these kind of concepts to children. What you want is not the most important thing. It's a hard thing to tackle when you're 4 years old because all you are is a vessel for your own desires. I think sometimes from an evolutionary perspective, if you could somehow map out what an individual truly is, it's like appetite and desire is here, this great basin of power that has underwritten all human evolution and indeed all evolution. And then my individual identity floats atop of it like this. And I call myself this person, but my God, I am floating on an abundance of appetites and needs and fears that are all instilled wherever anatomy, chemistry, biochemistry come together. You know, in a sense, we are limited in the face of our own desires. Deepak, who's been a guest on Under the Skin, and Jonathan Haidt's been a guest on Under the Skin. So Under the Skin, my podcast on Luminary, is a good thing to subscribe to if you're interested in these kind of issues. Brene Brown, she's on there. She's fantastic on this. Jordan Peterson, hours of me and Jordan Peterson talking all on these kind of subjects. A 2017 study found 4 key experiences promote meaning and purpose. 1, physical and mental well-being, taking care of the body and mind. Meditation, eating well, some exercise. 2, belonging and recognition, being part of something larger than yourself. Find a purpose to become active in, whether it's a spiritual community or if spirituality is not your thing, an activist community or a way of helping others, simple acts of service. 3, personally treasured activities. Yeah, I've got the BJJ, the love of football, the love of my pets. 4, spiritual closeness and connectedness, including religion. I suppose where possible you could tie together all of those principles to create a kind of an impenetrable nexus of meaning, and therefore your identity and your life will all feel interconnected to things beyond yourself, your own limitations, your own exploration. You can exalt the things in you which are timeless, whether those are your appetites which you carry in your genes, or perhaps something greater, a greater sense of drive, a greater drive to oneness. Also in my Audible original revelation I said, I wonder what the cost has been to you personally. I wonder if you've paid as weighty tariff as I when you made the choices that you made at the crossroads you have faced. Because we have no choice but to find the sacred, to connect to the source from which all life comes, to find a purpose to carry us forward, and to feel somewhere within us that it hasn't all been a dreadful, dreadful waste of time. Well, there I am, reflecting and meditating on purpose itself. In my own life, the way I've felt most connected is 1, becoming clean from drugs and alcohol, 2, becoming aware and conscious of other behaviours that replace them or very comparable to drug and alcohol addiction, 3, becoming of service to others, 4, becoming a father has been incredible for me, 5, working regularly on my tendency towards self-centeredness and egocentrism, which is inculcated by our culture and enhanced by the experience of being alive through most of our cultural institutions. They tell you, you are an individual, what you want matters. And I find it is important to abandon yourself to something higher. The tension between individual egoic needs and a higher purpose, it's a constant one, a continual one. For me, I vacillate between selfishness and higher, more altruistic ends. But if you don't insert that somewhere into the rubric of your being, then I think you will fall prey first to selfishness, but ultimately to nihilism and despair. Because in the end, you cannot achieve much if all you want to achieve are self-centered goals. Thank you. Find your purpose. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you do, like it. It gives me a real purpose and drive to see a thumbs up. Subscribe to this new channel. We've got to get some subscribers on here. It's very, very important. Don't turn on the notification bell unless you really bang into this stuff. And put your comments below. Tell us what else you want to see me talk about. And furthermore, join up to my mailing list Elite Nexus Cabal Club by going to russellbrand.com, giving me your email. You'll get regular bulletins. I'm doing stuff all the time. Live events, live performances. Anyway, good luck on your journey to finding purpose.